Time to live, time to love, time to laugh, time to die. Take it easy, baby, take it as it comes. Don't move too fast, and you want your love to last. Are you moving as you best? To walk, time to run, time to aim your arrows at the sun. Take it easy, baby, take it as it comes. Don't move too fast, and you want your love to last. Are you the moving must you stay? Specialize in having fun. Take it easy, baby. Take it as it comes. Don't move too fast. When you want your love to last. Are you a moving must too fast? Moving must too fast. Moving must too fast.
Yeah. All right. Start out with a little rock this morning. I'm loving it. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully the stream is holding up good. The audio is good. Everything's good. Give me 1 second here. Let me check this out. Let's see here. Let's see here. What are you on about? What is this? 900, 999, 9 o'clock, time to get it on. Okay. Yeah, bang a gong and all that good stuff. Anyway, good morning. I am back in Bangkok, obviously, or fairly obviously to those who watch every once in a while. I'm back. And, when I left, which was last Tuesday, my wife and Alex, actually my wife more so, weren't feeling very good. And I thought, no big deal. They little bit of a flu, a little cold or whatever. I thought no big deal. And my first thought was, I hope it's just something minor, and they'll get better in a day or two. But then, I got on the road, got to Nakhon Phanom, and my wife was still feeling really bad. Alex had yet to feel really sick. And so, I was thinking, I hope it's not like the COVID. I hope it's just something minor. But my wife's constitution is very strong. She's been sick before. She's had the flu or a cold. And usually, like the next day, man, she's back at it. You would have never known she was sick. And it knocks her out for a day, and that's it. But I wasn't so sure about Alex. I'm not sure about his immune system and all that kind of stuff. Well, you can pick up this shirt from my merch, from the shirt shop. Just look down below. There's a link down below. There's also some t-shirts for the Northern America. They should be showing below the video window. But anyway, he's never really been that sick. Every once in a while, he's had a little bit of a cold or a flu or whatever. And as I got on with the trip, I'm having a good time. Things are all right. I'm talking to him on a daily basis. And, I was a little bit worried about Alex once he got sick, because she seemed to be getting better. She just had a really bad headache. And finally she went in and took him to the doctor. She didn't feel she needed to be seen, but she took him into the doctor. And sure enough, they were like, hey, you might have this chikungunya virus, which mainly comes from mosquitoes. Now, there's a lot of problems with mosquitoes in Thailand, and, doesn't surprise me. It turned out he had dengue fever, and she was already improving, but she had the exact same symptoms as him, which is your bones ache, you're achy like you have the flu, you have red spots, or just your skin is bright red, and you can't even move. It really hurts to move. But she got better. He didn't get better. So when he went to the hospital, they admitted him in the hospital. He's still in the hospital. And he went in the hospital on Monday night of this week. And so, I was on my way back. And now I was not on my way back for them. I didn't really know it was that bad at the moment. But I decided to come back for, a number of reasons. Basically, the budget was dwindling. And I thought, well, I'll just come back and regroup, in a couple of weeks or whatever. And continue my trip. But it's a good thing I came back, because he was in bad shape. And I went straight to the hospital from the train station. And when I got there, he couldn't move. He was in pain. He was aching and moaning and just in bad shape. And I was like, man, I had dengue fever many years ago. And I remember how bad it was. They had to wheel me in. Basically. I was in this little place right next to the hospital This is before they had built up the hospital to be what it was. I was in this little place, and they actually sent somebody over with a wheelchair, and they threw me in the wheelchair and wheeled me over, and I was in there for about a week. And it sucked. You're miserable for 3 or 4 days straight, just completely miserable. There's no reprieve, and you're lucky if you get to fall asleep. So anyway, I'm going to get into this and a lot more in a minute. But if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Maybe you'll find it interesting. The following stream and all the videos and everything that I do for this channel is brought to you by my Patreon patrons, the VIP members of my website, the YouTube members, and all your purchases and donations, contributions, what have you. You all are the ones, not only with your financial offerings and however it may be, but also by just viewing. You're the ones who support the channel, and really appreciate that. And thank you very much to everyone who helped me pull this last trip off. I'll be back in a few weeks. I haven't decided exactly where I'm going to go yet, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But if you would like to support the channel, just look in the description. There's all kinds of ways you can do so, or make a visit to my website at americaninbangkok.com, or like I said before, there's T-shirts and mugs available either through a link in the description or underneath the video window. There should be some, you should see some T-shirts and what have you, mugs. I don't know if there's any stickers in there now, but anyway, thank you for watching and also supporting the channel. Now, I took a train back on Tuesday, in case you don't know. So this trip, basically, I flew to Nakhon Phanom, which is very nice. Nice little city. Took a bus from Nakhon Phanom to Bangkok, and then hung out in Bangkok for a few days, and that was fantastic. Probably the best place out of all the places as far as things to do was Bangkok. Then I went up to Nong Khai, which is very relaxing. Not really a lot to do, but I had a nice hotel. Very relaxing. But anyway, on Tuesday, I took the train. And as I believe I said earlier, I was on my way to the train station. Just pull up to the train station. I went, oh man, something's missing. And it was my glasses. Forgot my glasses. And I thought to myself, do I want to leave? I know they have to be in the hotel. Do I want to leave a $100 pair of glasses in the hotel? Or do I want to risk it, miss my train because I was running a little bit close, and run back to the hotel, pay an extra 50 baht, which was nothing, and get my glasses? And so fortunately for me, I went back, got the glasses, get back to the train with like 5 or 10 minutes to spare. Very comfortable train. I did stream from the train, which I think was stream number 107, the one before this one. And I have to say, as soon as I got off the train, actually, as soon as I got on the train, I started stressing out. I felt my blood pressure rising because I was worried about Alex and was I going to get there in time, and to see him before he and actually I got there right when he was just barely awake, and he slept for like the next 2 days, and I wanted to get there, in time to see him before he went to sleep for the night, and I wanted to see what was going on. So I went straight to the hospital from the train station. I walk out, I start looking for a cab, and wouldn't you know it, all those pesky touts are, hey, mister, you want tuk-tuk? You want ride? Come on, you'll come with me. I got taxi. And, I've been on a 10-hour train ride, and, I woke up like 3 hours before I had to leave. And so I've been up for a while. I'm tired. I'm grouchy. I don't feel like having any of it. I just ignore them. Don't say a word. But they just continue to pester me. They're like circling me to where I can barely get through. I'm standing there waiting for the taxis, and people are trying to, jump in front. They're trying to get in. But we don't know there's a queue here. So already my blood pressure's going up. Then this guy pulls up. I just jump in. We start driving along. And he asked me, do you want to take the freeway? Yes, I want to take the freeway. We get on the freeway, and about 10 minutes into the trip, he's like, which way do you want me to go? I said, just go the way that I told you to go. Oh, but maybe better you go this way. I said, no, just go the way I want to go. I don't know if you can go that way. He starts arguing with me about it. And I'm like going, I know that this is the right way. Please just understand me. I know what I'm doing. Just take me the way I want to go. Okay. So then for the next 45 minutes or so, he's mumbling to himself. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I even live in Bangkok? And I'm like, my kids, I'm living in Bangkok for my kids. He's mumbling. I don't know which way to go. I'm not sure about how am I going to get home. Why am I driving a taxi? Mumbling all these things, saying things I don't even understand too. So, I'm like, this is Bangkok. I just have to I'm like the same thing when I was up on the mountain there. I'm like, no. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Just take me where I want to go. That's all I give a shit about. He's asking, how am I going to get out of here? I'm like, I don't know, buddy. I'm like, what? You drive a cab for a living. You don't know these things? And that's what happens when you go from driving a Buffalo and then coming into the city, and basically you just take a test that is not very difficult, and you start driving a cab. But, listen, we all got to make a buck, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm trying to be very patient, smiling, and so we get up to where we need to stop, and I was going to have to cross over the street. He's like, you, give money now. I'm like, no, take me, we're not there yet, take me up there. You give me money now, traffic. He wanted me to give him the money then so that I could just get out as quickly as possible. I said no, because I didn't want him stopping and going, you get out, that's it, get out now. So, he's like mumbling about, traffic so much, how I get home. I said, okay, whatever, buddy. So now the thing is that I had 270 baht, and traffic was just murder. I mean, really, really bad. Like, we're sitting there for 10 minutes at a time, not moving, and I'm like, this sucks. And then I'm looking at the meter ticking away, and it's at like 210. I'm like, well, we're getting close, maybe, because I don't want to have to stop at an ATM, pull out more money, have him find an ATM, because the traffic was very, very heavy. I didn't want him to have to pull over, and then I got to go and take out some money and then pay him, but, whatever. I thought that was plenty of money to, because originally I thought, I'll take the train, I'll take the subway, and then I'll take a taxi from where the subway lets me out. But I just thought, you know what? It's a hassle. I'll just take the taxi. So finally, I got the dough in my hand, and he's like, money. Finally, I said, it's right over there on your right. Look there. You just stop at the Sapan Loy, which is the walkway, the overpass. I said, please just stop right there, and I'll walk over. Oh, no U-turn? Now you stop? Yes, stop. Okay, please just stop right here. He stops. I give him his money. I gave him a couple bucks, a couple baht extra because traffic was heavy, and I understand, he's trying to make a buck, So it does suck to be sitting in traffic. And if you've been in traffic on Ramkhamhaeng Road or Lat Pral Road, it's terrible traffic. There are times when you just sit there and you don't move for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it's horrible. And people, and then what really pisses me off, and what pissed me off about this, one thing that did piss me off about this guy is he pulled the old, he's going straight, and there are cars that are waiting to turn. So he'll just out of the blue, he did it a couple of times, he just stopped and let all the cars that were waiting go in front of him. I'm like, dude, you have the right of way. Continue to go straight. They will come out when they have the time. You don't just stop and let 25 cars go in front of you. And then I'm sitting in traffic going, shit, is he going to let the next batch go in front? So I'm like irritable. So finally we get there, and it was like 230 baht. I'm like, all right, no problem. Here you go. I gave him an extra 40 baht. Now I got my big backpack. And I'm wondering, how's Alex doing? But I got to get in there, and I'm like going, oh shit, do I have my mask? And, are they going to test me when I go in? What are they going to do? I go through, they do their little temperature test. There's only one entry. I go in, they tell me it's on the 8th floor. I go to the 8th floor, it's not on the 8th floor. So I go down to the 7th floor, it's not on the 7th floor. Then I go down to the 6th floor. Then they have a name up on the room where he's supposed to be. It's not his name. So I don't even go in because I don't want to see some, old woman in her little hospital gown and, her family sitting around and they're like, huh, who are you? Get out of here. I just was like, maybe I'm in the wrong room. So I asked the nurse, oh, no, that's the right room. I go in. All right. And Alex could barely move. So I'm like, oh, this sucks. This is really bad. And I forgot, I remember that it was bad, but I'm looking at him going, I hope he's going to be all right. And long story shorter, basically from Tuesday, what's today, Friday? From Tuesday, well, I got there, Tuesday night? No, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, yeah. I got there Tuesday night, right from the train. I spent Tuesday night and Wednesday night in the hospital. Didn't go anywhere, just stayed in the hospital. I think yesterday was the first time I went out because I wanted to get some aspirin because, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but I had a headache. But anyway, for 2 days, I saw him, and he was just, laying in bed. He couldn't move at all. And the nurse is in there, and, she's, I don't know what she's doing, fixing the IV or whatever she was doing, giving him some medicine. And so, for 2 days, he basically just slept. Once in a while, he'd wake up and say, can you help me get to the toilet? Can you help me pee or whatever, And I'm like, okay. Because he couldn't really walk. He was so weak, he couldn't walk. It's nothing to trifle with. And, if you're compromised or you're weak or old, then you don't want to get the dengue. All right, it's bad and it's hard to protect against, especially here because there's a lot of stagnant water around. But anyway, about Wednesday, I thought, man, the doctor says he's supposed to be getting better. He's still in a lot of pain. I'm like, I hope he's not going to be in here for like another week. And as it turned out, on Thursday night, he started feeling a little bit better. Thursday afternoon or so. He started, no, not Thursday afternoon. Wednesday night, he started feeling better. He told me, at least I can kind of sit up now. And I'm like, all right, good deal. Push through it. I'm like, drink plenty of fluids and try to eat something. He couldn't eat. It, destroys your appetite, at least short term. And so finally yesterday morning, he woke up and he was like, I'm really hungry. So he chowed down everything they had, which was like, hospital food is not very good. But he chowed down everything on the plate. And then he still was in a lot of pain. I'm like, I don't understand why he's still in pain, but he doesn't really have a fever. But he still had some red, and he was itching because it makes you itch once you're starting to recover. And then, it was almost like a miracle. He had lunch, So that was his second meal. And he was like, I feel so much better now. I'm like, what? Really? He's like, yeah, I feel good. I want to go home. So a doctor came in and said, today he can go home. So he's still there. He's there with my wife. When, once I found that he was going to be okay and that he could come home today, I came back home because last night was the first night I've been home since I began my trip last week. I'm running out of clothes and clean clothes and stuff like that. But anyway, so he's better. So thank you to all those people who wished him well and were worried about him. I appreciate that. He knows. He does know. I told him a lot of people were rooting for him, and he's as happy as he can be, considering how he's felt. And man, I remember it. And I do, I don't really remember everything that happened, but I remembered some of the things. No, we didn't go to Waitangi. My wife hates Waitangi, and I don't blame her. I don't particularly like it either. But anyway, so that's his little story. To their credit, I will say that once the Thai government found out, I guess the hospital was required to tell the Thai government, the health department, that somebody has dengue fever because there are a lot of cases of dengue fever in Thailand, especially in the last almost about 2 months. There's been something like 25,000 cases. And it's because of the rainy season and all the stagnant water and that kind of thing. But they came out to our house, I think it was yesterday. They came out and they sprayed all outside the house and did a few things. And my wife had to spray inside the house. And, we have water jugs and all kinds of things sitting around that some of the things, it was a little bit dicey. It's like if you want to cut down on the mosquitoes, there's certain things you need to do. You don't leave any stagnant water. You don't have any, you don't leave the toilet bowl open. There's all kinds of things you can do. So I think we're set up now, but it's a pretty gnarly experience. And considering how many people get it here, it's important that they keep it under control because the elderly, I think, will have a hard time with it. The thing is that I almost never ever get bit by mosquitoes here, and back in Florida, I get bit to death. I don't know if they don't like my blood or they don't like my smell or what it is. I don't know, but something about me they don't particularly like, and they did like me the one time when they, but Now, before I start talking about the, or whether or not we're going to get back to normal, I got to say that the Thai government, I don't know, there have been a bit of a rock between a rock and a hard place. They've got to keep the place shut down to outsiders. It would seem this is what they think. They've got to keep the place shut down. But if they don't open up, then they're losing out, and then their economy is suffering. It's contracting big time. So there's an article here. The screws are tightening for foreign tourists as visa expiry date of July 31st beckons with even fewer options. You may remember that foreigners received an extension, an automatic extension, so that there were people that couldn't get out and they couldn't get into their country or whatever, and so they were given an automatic extension up to July 31st. Now, The screw is tightening for stranded foreigners as the July 31st deadline for expiry approaches, barring no further extensions. This week, foreign embassies indicated they would not be in a position to grant letters to citizens stranded in the kingdom, while one report suggests that immigration officers may not even grant a normal tourist visa extension and instead will offer a 7-day one with a firm instruction to applying foreigners to leave the country by then. There has been some speculation of an extension being granted at the last minute, but this would take a decision at cabinet level in the next week if it is to happen before the deadline expires. Normally, if it's the 31st, they would make a decision by about the 24th. It's usually about a week beforehand they make a decision, so I don't know if that's going to happen. The official government position and advice from all embassies is that stranded foreigners without a visa should prepare to leave the country at once. There is continued speculation and heightened anxiety among the remaining stranded foreigners in Thailand after a senior immigration bureau spokesman reaffirmed his comments last week that it is highly unlikely that an extension to a visa amnesty in place up to July 31st will be extended by the government. Currently, the official position is that the amnesty will expire on that date. On July 3rd, a deputy spokesman for the Thai Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Natapanu Nopakun, suggested that an extension to the amnesty was being considered by Thai authorities at that point. However, there has been no further announcement on the issue before Colonel Pakapong Sayobun last Tuesday described such a development as unlikely. Well, I don't think that their airport is closed. That's the thing. The airport is open. You can go out of the country. It's a matter of whether you can get into your own country or a country, and also, if you're willing to pay the money, because some of the tickets are quite expensive. Immigration officer is still adamant in his assessment an extension to the amnesty is unlikely. Colonel Pakapong, again this Tuesday, repeated his assertion that any extension of the amnesty is unlikely. Thailand, here's his comment. Thailand has shown enough leniency for foreigners, Colonel Pakapong explained. It's been nearly 4 months already. If you have a letter, you're good to stay. But if you can't get one, there's not much we can do. This came after the reopening of the Ancillary Visa Processing Center in Muangthong Thani this Monday to process increased numbers which will become necessary as large numbers of foreigners attempt to have their tourist visas extended beyond the July 31st automatic expiry date. This week, let's see here, last week, when Colonel Pakapong appeared to pour cold water on the prospect of an extension of the visa amnesty, he did explain that foreigners could apply for an extension on a normal basis, based on a letter from their embassy, or make preparations to leave the country to avoid facing punitive fines and the strong possibility of arrest and detention by immigration authorities. Now, see, this kind of stuff it's not good for them. It's not good for any country, and I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know the whole logic behind it, but let me see something here. As far as I know, the airport is open. The airport is not closed to foreigners. Now, let me see something here. Let me take a quick look. Let's see here. 2. Okay. Is this going to work? this is unavailable. Okay, from August 1st, there are tickets available. Okay, at least on Air Asia, like to Singapore, starting August 1st. There are tickets. Now, I don't know about going anywhere else. Let me see here. Give me 1 second and we'll check it out. Everything is August 1st. So this is just Air Asia, though. But, so I'm not sure what the whole the deal is now. I haven't checked really on anything in the last 2 weeks or so since I left, a little bit before I left. Dengue fever is called bone break fever just for that particular reason, that when you have it, you feel like your bones are breaking, and it sucks. Because you want to sleep, you want to get comfortable, and you toss and you turn, and every time you toss and turn, it hurts. It's not fun. It's definitely not a good thing. So let me see something else here. The 500 baht a day is that alone is a bad thing. But if you overstay, you can be banned from coming back. A year, 5 years, depends on the length of time that you're overstayed. But you can be barred from re-entering for quite some time. So this is a pretty heavy-duty issue, and I'm sure that they are thinking about it. But I don't know how they come to their, what their process is for making decisions. I wish I did know. Is it, this is going to hurt the masses? Because if they're not letting people in, why can't they let people out? Let me tell you something. My wife has been trying to ship a package to New Zealand. They wouldn't allow her to. I tried to ship something to the United States a while back. They wouldn't allow me to. We had to use DHL. That was the only way that they would allow it. And I don't know why, but that's the way it is, Maybe they're extremely worried about it. Now, that brings me to the next, my next subject, which is success with the COVID is coming at a heavy price. And of course it does, but everywhere, it's a matter of, do you lock down and tell the people to stay at home to be safe, and then they have a hard time making a living? Or do you let them go out and then they risk re-spreading the disease and things going bad, kind of like they're doing now in like California and Florida and Texas? All these places are not doing very well. But here in this article, Bangkok Post says, it was a matter of time before the government of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha became a victim of its own misguided success in handling the coronavirus pandemic. By presiding over a public mindset of zero local infections, the government raised unrealistic expectations at a high price. The fiasco that transpired in Rayong last week, when an infected Egyptian Air Force official was allowed to roam in a shopping mall and thereby fueled fears of a second wave of infections, should serve as a wake-up call for an overdue change in virus-fighting strategy. Now, I don't know why they let the guy go out. Hey, I'm an officer, I get to go out. It's just stupid. Medically speaking, that's kind of foolish. It's not kind of foolish, it is foolish. And what's so funny is that this is such a divisive subject that people will fight it tooth and nail. I know people who believe in medical science and believe that this is truly a pandemic and something to be concerned about. I know other people who are like, oh, it's just a cold. We got to take the risk. And I know people that are wear the mask, don't wear the mask. And I personally don't know how I feel. I'll be honest. I don't know, because to me, it kind of stinks. Something is fishy, but scientifically, you can't deny that there are some people who have got sick and died from it. Just look at the guy I talked about him the other day, bald and bankrupt. Now, he took it down. He took his video talking about it down because people were harassing him. Trolls were jumping all over him, saying there is no such thing as the coronavirus. He's full of shit. He was getting paid by Russians and all this, just ridiculous stuff. Okay? My thing is, if it's as bad as they say you are in the United States, then wear the fucking mask. Wear your mask. I mean, what's it going to hurt? You're going to wear it for a couple of months? Let's say you got to wear it for 2 years. It sucks. But if it helps you live and it helps your granny live and your grandpa live and your mother and father live, then just do it and see what happens. And if it comes out later on, then you can be outraged. But most people think that they know what the truth is and that they know medically what's happening. And I think that that's, it's like everybody who thinks that, you go out and you knock a guy out on the street and that means that, hey, I could be a boxer. I've got a hell of a punch. Yeah, well, the thing is that most boxers, they hit you 10 times before you even land that punch. Good boxers are going to pop you 10 times, 5 times, and you're going to be like, huh, what happened? Then you're out. You never get a chance. They know how to avoid it. You know what I mean? So to speak like we're medical professionals, granted, something fishy could be going on. It's not that I dispute that, but I have my doubts about keeping people locked up long term, because at some point people are going to revolt. And this is what I wanted to talk about, but let me continue here. To be sure, the persistence and potency of the global coronavirus pandemic necessitates tough and proactive measures. Last figures indicate the total number of cases is approaching 14 million, with a death toll. Let's see what the death toll is now. The death toll is almost 600,000 people. Now, again, who knows if those numbers are accurate or not? That's the hard part. In the worst hit countries, particularly the United States, Brazil, and India, with their relatively large populations, case infections are most alarming and show no signs as yet of abatement and containment. As widely noted, Thailand has done well in keeping infection numbers below 3,300, with comparatively few deaths at 58, ranking the country impressively at around 100th among 215 states and territories. When the virus-afflicted Egyptian case popped up in Rayong, in addition to similarly infected Sudanese child and diplomatic dependent in Bangkok, Thailand had not had a local COVID-19 case in more than 40 days. New daily infections could be counted on the fingers of one hand, all deriving from outside the country and discovered during state-mandated quarantines. One thing is that I guess there was 4 cases yesterday. I don't know why. Well, let's see here. There's a false. Fighting COVID-19 is not a war to be lost and won. It's more a process of resilience and sustained effort of management, mitigation, and minimization, overcoming and overlasting a deadly virus that will be around for a long time. This is the other thing. Nobody does know, and I do believe it's a problem. You wouldn't have all these places with hospitals that can't handle the number of influx patients that are coming in. You wouldn't have all these deaths. Let's say that half of the deaths are completely accurate. That's still a lot of people. You could say it's the flu. Okay, I understand. Yeah, it's like the flu. Okay, well, if it's like the flu, then why not wear a fucking mask? I mean, seriously. Why are people getting so pissed off? Because, I know, but here's the thing. and this is the thing, because I hear this a lot. I hear this, oh, it's not very bad. All it takes is one person from one of those hotspots to not know or to forget or not care or whatever it is. They decide they're going to a little podunk city in Texas or wherever, and they hit the bar or something like that. And then before you know it, you got an outbreak. You got 100 people, and then they're going, and it spreads out. So it is dangerous. And this is the problem, is that it is very dangerous, and that there's people in the United States who are using this as a political tool. And now, you have this new stimulus bill coming up, and what's right and what's wrong, okay? Because you have a record number of cases and deaths in the United States, and the head of the CDC has said this coming fall and winter will likely be one of the most difficult times we will experience in American public health. The total deaths is now over 140,000 people, and what is it now? Let me see here. It was 885. Now it's up to... Oh, this is 885 deaths just today. And so, obviously, this is a problem that needs to be taken care of. Now, on my trip to Nakhon Phanom and Bhutan and Nong Khai, it's very surprising, but not many people were wearing the mask just around town. They would wear a mask when they're going into 7-Eleven or the mall or something like that. Nakhon Phanom has 2 confirmed cases, and there were no cases in Bhutan and Nong Khai. So, does that mean you can just not wear a mask? And I admit, there were times I'm out, I'm alone, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody around me. There's nobody sitting next to me. I don't have a mask on. But when I go into 7-Eleven or I'm walking through a market, I'll put the mask on. It's the right thing to do. How can the U.S. economy... See, there's a quandary. And that quandary is, how can the economy open up and people go back to work and kids, most importantly, kids go to school, when you have governors and health officials saying we need to still be locked down. You can't do this, you can't do that. You need to lock down, you can't have your restaurant open, you can't have your bar open. Everybody's got to stay at home or lock down. So it's go back to work, go back to school, protest, as long as it's peaceful, of course. And all this sounds a bit strange to me. What do you do? What's the right thing to do? Do I stay home? Because you can't get a straight answer. You ask and it's like, well, we're going to do what we have to do or something like that. You get some circular response. So what is the remedy? Develop the vaccine? Well, they're working on the vaccine. But what happens if they don't develop a vaccine and this drags on for years? What happens if this goes on for years? I know you say it can't happen, but now we're already we're in what, the middle of July? And I've already said, I think that this year is shot. At least for the Thai tourist industry, it's shot. Forget about it. And there will be a lot of people who will have a bad feeling about how Thailand doesn't want people coming in unless they do this. Oh, yeah. That feels good. Well, if you can't vaccinate this virus, then why are they trying to develop the vaccine? Okay? My point is, what if this drags on? What's the government going to do? You can't. Eventually, you got to pay the piper. You can give people money. You can continue to give people money. You can continue to keep them locked down. But how many jobs are already gone now? I would suspect quite a few. I just don't see any solution on the horizon, and that's what the problem is. So, in my own question, which is, will we ever experience normal again? I think we may experience a similar version, but not for a couple of years. I think it's going to be years before we get over this and through this. And the problem is, you got older people who are just like, well, so what? I got to live the rest of my life in my house and I can't go anywhere. Here, where I live in Victoria, has had one case, and that was imported with quarantine. That case did not affect others due to my wife's work. We have been in basic lockdown for over 4 months. Damn. Yeah, I mean, we are already headed towards that Great Depression. They're going to, July 31st, the unemployment benefits, the extended unemployment benefits end. And, they're talking about making a stimulus check that's lower than before. First of all, politically, that's not very bright. Because people will remember that. They'll be like, you cocksuckers give us $1,200 when you're taking long breaks. You're making a couple $100,000 a year. You're millionaires. And you're going to give us like $800 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people are probably thinking. Especially those who really, really need the money. They're thinking, hey, $1,200, most people, that doesn't even pay their rent, depending on where they are. If you could find a vaccine, why isn't there one? No, in 18 years, the reason. Oh, yeah. It's listen, don't tell me about some freaking conspiracy theory, because I just don't believe it. The whole world is in cahoots with Beijing, yes. We're going to blame Beijing, and then the whole world is going to jump on board and say, hey, we're in the middle of a financial crisis. There's a boogeyman out there. No, there's not. This is exactly what I think it is. Now, they couldn't have planned this. This is too perfect to have been planned. Yeah, I mean, what happened to SARS? It just went away. Oh, come on. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's a nonsense. Total nonsense. Who is going to benefit so much? The number of people that would benefit from this is so small compared to the rest of the world. And you can say, oh, well, they want to control the world. It's a fucking conspiracy theory. That's all it is. It has no merit. None. I don't believe it. Sorry. This is about politics in the United States. This is about politics in the United States for right now. Elsewhere, yeah, maybe it's about politics. I don't know. But I think this is still a medical issue, and people need to remember that. And yes, it could be that it's not as bad as everybody is making it out to be. I'm not saying that it is. Ask the guy from Bald and Bankrupt. Ask anybody else that you know who's had it. Because there are people that definitely have had it. And, that's the way it goes. Well, then fuck off then. You don't like it, fuck off. Simple as that. I'll make it easy for you. This is like, I don't know if you know, but Dengue, it's a, it's this is like, it's 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 like This virus is like a turd that you can't flush down. It just won't go away. That's pretty much what it is. So it makes no sense. How can you send kids to school when people are supposedly dying in mass, when the numbers are supposedly higher than they've been before? You've got Florida with the highest number of cases, their highest number of cases. How do you work past that and say, okay, well, we'll just let the kids go to school because they're going to be all right. It'll be okay. Ugh, God. Please. Sorry, I disagree with you, okay? I disagree with you. So I really disagree with you, and I don't want to hear about this conspiracy bullshit, because to me it's a crock of shit. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, there was never a need for a shutdown. Maybe not. But what I'm saying is, if you think that the illness is not legitimate, I think that maybe you need to just go and you subject yourself to it. And, go ahead, take your chance. Go for it. At some point, we're going to have to do that. I mean, And you can leave me all the thumbs downs you want. You can leave all the hateful I just, I do think it's a crock of shit how they're dealing with it. But it's like you're going to have to make some sort of a decision that seems logical, because how can you say we're going to lock down all of California, we're going to continue to lock places down, but we have a large number of cases. They're continuing. We're getting spikes of this virus. And by the way, you can't go back to work, and we're going to give you less money, so you're just shit out of luck. You're going to have to fend for yourself. Which, I understand you got to fend for yourself. I do understand that. It sucks, but that's life. Okay, well then go subject yourself to the illness. Go let somebody cough on you, get sick, and see just how good it is to you. Seriously, okay? I mean, I don't want to argue with you and debate this, honestly. I don't want to. Because the bottom line is, while some of the numbers might not be legit, I guarantee you there are many that are. Okay? Guarantee you. Well, and this is the other thing. So now you're going to have riots. You're going to have these supposedly peaceful protests. And you're going to allow the rioters to go out because you want to protect their freedoms. But then when people want to go to work and make a living, you're not going to allow that to happen. It just doesn't add up. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. It's, it really doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay. Listen, non-important. Please, stop with your argument is no more valid than mine. I'll tell you that right now. You don't know what the deal is. You're just another guy just like me. You're not involved with the CDC. You're not involved with the, with the government to where you know exactly what's going on. You're guessing, just like me. And that's the whole problem. You're guessing, I'm guessing, we're all guessing. We got to believe the government. Otherwise, yeah, and what's yours based on? Get the fuck out of here, really. You're ridiculous. So you're a scientist? You're a virologist? Is that what it is? Please tell me. Because if you are, then maybe I'll give you a little more credit. Okay, but that doesn't prove a damn thing. Because maybe those Chinese tourists were already in Thailand before the people were subjected to the to the virus. Okay. Okay. Really? What hospital would that be? So you're a Thai? So I'm going to say you're a Thai. You must be a Thai because there's very few Western doctors. Well, you know what? Somehow I think you're full of shit. You're German. Okay. Uh-huh. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but I don't think you do either. And just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you know what the hell's going on about um, this virus. So, I mean, whether you're German or not, so then your Thai must be fantastic then. You must be able to speak and read and write in Thai. Is that correct? No, I'm asking you non-important. So, do you read Thai and write Thai and speak Thai fluently? Okay. Listen, the problem is that I don't see any clear answer. I don't see any clear statistics. That's the way I look at it. Nothing is certain. I'm looking at the United States not so much as Thailand. In Thailand, I look at it like when was the last time they were letting people in, tourists in? You're talking about the Chinese. I don't know about the ones from Wuhan who came in here. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. And I for a long time I've said I don't know what the reasoning is behind Thailand's success. Okay? Well, what about what Thailand tells us? I mean, if you're not going to believe the West, why would you believe Thailand then? Why would you believe China? So this is the problem. I don't believe anybody. You know. And you can say not to look at the news, but you know what? Some of the news is statistics. And what I look at is the websites with the statistics. Yeah. Okay. They obey the WHO. Okay. If they obey the WHO, everybody here would be wearing masks and nobody would be allowed to walk around without a mask on. Believe me. I kind of doubt some of what you say, and I know it probably doesn't matter, but I just don't. There's things that I just have a hard time believing, and when it comes to the United States, yeah, I know the answer too, but I'm holding it. I'm holding it hostage. That's bullshit. What are you talking about? I mean, we couldn't get into any 7-Eleven until days ago. Now I know you're full of shit. I know you're full of shit now. Okay? Because I've been walking in. There has not been any time I couldn't get into a 7-Eleven. Not one. I've been able to go into a 7-Eleven every single time. So what? There's temperature checks everywhere. The fuck? What does that matter? There's temperature checks going into the mall. So it's not like you can't use a 7-Eleven. You couldn't get into any 7-Eleven until days ago. Dude, are you trolling me? Really? Because you're full of shit. Temperature checks don't mean you can't get into the country. Oh, bullshit. I live in central Bangkok. Jesus fucking Christ, man. You're bullshit. The mall was a different story, and it's not been a couple of days ago. It's been months or a month. July 1st. But, even before then, you could go into malls and get groceries, and they didn't even check your temperature. Ugh. Nah, dude, you're bullshit. You're starting to become non-important. Seriously. I'm surprised Thailand get hit in January during the high season. Hey, I don't know exactly how long Thailand's been shut down now, but it's been quite some time. You even in Thailand, LOL, masks are defamatory all over Thailand since months. Really? What the fuck are you saying, dude? Defamatory? Do you even know what that means? I'm not saying you don't need one to go into 7-Eleven. That's not what I'm saying, okay? What I'm saying is they're not mandatory to go. You don't need a mask. The government has not made them mandatory when you go outside. You can go out to a park. You can go you can even sit in a song towel without a mask on, and nobody is bitching and moaning. The government's not locking people down. So please, I don't know if it's just because you're German or what the deal is and your English is not your first language. I don't know. 7-Eleven will say to you, you can't come in without a mask if they have somebody by the door. Some places don't have that. Most do. They're checking your temperature. I went in the other day to a 7-Eleven. There was nobody in the goddamn place. This is up in northern Thailand. I went in there. I didn't have a mask because I forgot my mask. And I said, can I just buy a mask really quickly? And the girl goes, okay. And what she did was, she walked over. She had a mask on. She walked over. She gave me a mask. I gave the money to the girl. She paid it for me. I put the mask on, and then I started walking around. No, I don't know why they won't enforce shit. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of cops who aren't making anything. If you go into 7-Eleven, there are no cops there to arrest you. It doesn't have anything to do with it. The Thais are not out to fucking get you. That's the problem. That a lot of people seem to think, oh, these guys will lock you up. They'll get you if you don't pay them. It's horse shit. Please. Ugh. They get paid money. And they make money. And I understand some of them make money in other ways that are not traditional in the West. But to say that they're going to... Listen, the bottom line is it's not mandatory to wear a mask in Thailand. You don't have to, but people do it anyway. That's my point. Jesus Christ. What I don't get is in the United States, though. How can you send children to school when you have Florida, Texas, and California? They have all spiked. Yeah, I think he's a troll. I tell you what, buddy, write me something in Thai in about 30 seconds. Write me something in Thai. Not from the Google Translate. Because I've only met one doctor, two doctors in my whole life in Thailand. I've been to probably 20 hospitals. and I'm not saying that maybe you aren't a doctor or whatever. I'm just saying I've only met two in my 25 years here. I've met two doctors who were foreigners, and I know what they had. Their Thai and their reading and everything like that. Oh, horse shit. Well, obviously it does a lot of good because nobody wears their fucking mask. People don't wear their mask everywhere now. Oh, God. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. They were compulsory in Phuket, pal. And let's see here. As of March, they were compulsory on all trains. Now, I can tell you for a fact that many people, I'm not getting worked up. I just think if he really is being honest and he is who he says he is, he's completely full of shit. Yeah, listen, buddy, your story don't pan out. And just the way that you spelled Bumrungrad, it tells me something. Because that's not how it is. Yeah, exactly. Let me see something real quick because I need to check it out here. I want to see something in Thai, the Thai language. I need to double check. Yeah, here we go. Maybe because they haven't had people coming into their country bring it into their country. Go look me up. You won't get my name. I don't understand about that. Even if you are a doctor, here's the thing. I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about. Seriously. My opinion, I just think you don't know what you're talking about. And I don't think I do either. That's the thing. I profess to say I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I think most people don't know either. And that's what the problem is. Listen, I understand. No, it doesn't make sense. But then again, that doesn't necessarily... You see, your logic is faulty, my friend, because just because it doesn't make sense... I'm listening to you right now. The largest tourist numbers from China are in Thailand, and yet Thailand has a low death toll. Okay? So I'm listening to you. But just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean that it's not right. It could be that it's completely fucked and it's completely skewed, it's completely wrong. Maybe it is. But then again, there's nothing saying one way or the other. There is no fact that you're looking at. Just because you're saying, oh, well, there's a lot of Chinese tourists in Thailand, so that's, you would think that more people would be sick. Just because you say that doesn't mean that it's true. Just because that's out there. Okay, there's a large number of tourists. Doesn't necessarily equate more deaths, because you don't know what the specifics were. You don't have all the data. And I would think as a doctor you would know this. Oh, God. All right, listen. Whatever. We're going to move past you because we don't really want to talk about it with you anymore. I don't know what the truth is, and I don't think you do either. That's where we're going to end it right there. Okay? No offense to you. You might be a doctor, you might be a troll, I don't know. But like when you say something like, well, the nation with the largest tourist numbers from China has the largest death toll, so it doesn't make sense. Of course, maybe it doesn't make sense. But then again, maybe you don't know all the facts about the Chinese tourists. So as a doctor, I would think that you would be logically a little more critical about the facts and not just about what's being said and what's being told and what you think you know. So, that's the end of that discussion. All right? The biggest factor is that I think we don't know what the fuck to believe. What the heck to believe. All right? Let me see something here. People are sounding wearing masks and I can tell you that being on the train, many people, including the conductor, including the people who take the tickets, they were not always wearing their mask. That doesn't mean that, but we can agree that what is told to us makes zero sense. Well, how's it going to make sense if we don't know all the facts? You can't get sense from a lack of facts. I would think you would know that as a physician. You must have facts to be able to come to a legitimate conclusion. But I would think you would know that already. That's a part of critical thinking. Let me just write this down here. Hang on. Make a little change here. You know what? Yeah, that's what I think too. I'm just going to hang on a second. I want to get past this here. Let's see if I can just come up with something here. Yeah, I'll play a little short song here. Just because I'm getting irritated by this guy, and his lack of critical thinking, yet he's a doctor. Well, and do you believe the Eastern narrative? No, do you believe the Eastern narrative more than you do the Western narrative? Do you believe any narrative? There is none. Well, I'm glad we can agree on that. And so does much of the West, which is another problem. Can't remember who requested this song, but Don't make me laugh. I don't want to sound like I'm skeptical of everything.
Tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life sincerely
I believe it's real.
in the house.
I believe the virus is real. The medical ramifications are real. What I believe is that the government, whether willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't know what the hell's going on because there's too many people involved. It's too big of an issue. And now you have the election coming up, and you have this based on politics, this stimulus bill in the United States based on politics, as opposed to what is the best thing for the people. Trump wants more money for a stimulus check, but he wants more money because it makes him look good. He doesn't necessarily want it. He wants it because it makes himself more endearable to the public. Oh gosh, President Trump gave $2,000 a month for 6 months or something like that. I don't think it's going to happen. But, you know, it's boiled down to politics, the Democrats and Republicans. All right, so really the what's important though is that the people are able to get their help. The people are able to get help and be treated. And I do think that in Thailand they have a capability that for whatever reason, if you know about the medical industry here, for most things, I'm not saying for the very serious matters because I don't really know a whole lot about the most serious things, even though I've had surgery a couple of times. I'm talking about things like heart attacks and that kind of thing. I don't really know brain surgery, stuff like that. I don't know how capable they are compared to other medical healthcare systems in various countries. I don't really know. I know that most of the time, if I need something done by them, or my kids need something, or my wife needs something, it's usually pretty easy, depending on the hospital you go to, and depending on what's being done, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the thing too. I don't think that every leader is out to destroy the masses and make sure that they are kept under their thumb. I don't think that's what Trump wants. I don't think that that's what Xi Jinping wants. I think he's for his system. You know, and maybe he's just like, hey, listen, the system comes before everything else, and, you know, some people are going to die, some people are going to get hurt, and you know, this is how leaders are. They're thinking of the masses. They're not thinking about that one person. That's why it does bug me when I hear Kayleigh McEnany or President Trump talking about, you know, John Smith, who had his balls blown off, and because of our government, we were able to sew him back on, or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? They bring up, you know, individuals' names like they care so much. No, they're a political tool. They're a cog in the wheel. That's all that it is. So, from the outside, it seems like Thailand is doing investigation. There's a lot of narratives being pushed all over. I focus on what affects me, and it sucks. The movement is all restricted. Listen, you guys saw. I flew to Nakhon Phanom. I can tell you that I do have I have footage of all this stuff. I have footage of me flying. I have footage, traveling to Nakhon Phanom. I have footage on the buses, on the train, and for the most part, they were very good. But they also think that there is some responsibility that you need to take. If you want to stand next to somebody and not wear a mask, then, that's you being an idiot. Somebody you don't know, you want to stand next to them and just, I can tell you that when you walk in the hospital, everybody has a mask on. It's not like people are walking around like in Nakhon Phanom, people are out on the boardwalk. They're not wearing masks. They're just walking around. Now, some of them are in groups, but I'm sure that they know these people. Now, that may or may not suffice, but this is how they're doing things. And so far, for whatever reason, if people were dropping like flies, you would know about it. So, I already know this, not important, and yeah, I already know this. I'm well aware of this. I mean, there were no nurses that go into my kid's room without a mask on. There are no doctors that come in and they're not wearing a mask. Because medically, it seems pretty sound that, hey, there is a virus out there, and maybe you're going to get sick. Maybe, you're going to be really sick. And maybe some people will die. I think the percentage is relatively small. But you want to take a chance. That's why I'm saying, if you really don't believe in it, and you believe you're not going to get sick, then let somebody cough all over you and see what happens. Or, contract the virus yourself and don't have any symptoms, bring it home and get all your family sick and see what happens. You really want to do that? You really want to take a chance on that? My concern, honestly, what I'm talking about being normal again, is normal before the virus. Do I see that happening anytime soon? No, I don't. And I'm thinking to myself, this could happen, this could be another 3 to 5 years that this could go on. We may never get any kind of a vaccine that even, anything that really helps. We may have to live with it. It may be something that kills millions of people over the years. And you have to get used to that. Older people might start dying more from it. I don't know. Listen, buddy, I'm not painting any devil on the wall. I'm telling it like I think it is. If that's too hard to handle, then, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it's a great thing either. But, it is what it is. Which is what I'm saying. Exactly, Stephen. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Listen, I didn't hear anybody saying to me, Scott, don't go on a plane, it's so dangerous. Scott, don't do this, don't do that, it's so dangerous. You might get the COVID. Nobody said that to me. Not one person said, are you sure you want to do that? Not one person. Now, I don't expect anybody to. I'm just making a point. Nobody came to me and said, oh my God, it's so deadly. No, you know why? Because it's up to me. I'm the one who has to determine what I think is risky and what's not risky. Now, there's a reason why I'm up on a mountain or up on a hill or up somewhere where there's very few tourists, because I'm not close to any of the people. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm sitting in a room with... This is the problem with immigration. What about all the people that got to go to immigration and now, people, let's just say that somebody doesn't wear their mask the right way, which that happens all the time, or they are eating food and they just happen to cough, or they just happen to get somebody sick, and then the next thing you know, there's 500 people that are sick in immigration. Then what are they going to do? Shut it down again? This is the thing. We are truly screwed. That's how I look at it. I'm pissed off about this, and I'm pissed off at the CCP. I'm pissed off at the Chinese government for all of this bullshit. Because I can't go anywhere that I want to go. There's a lot of places I want to go. I can go to places in Thailand, and I do plan on going to them. But placing the blame at the moment is not going to cut it, because it doesn't do a bit of good. What good does it do? Oh, let's blame the CCP. Yeah, okay, well, they're to blame. Okay, maybe, when it's all over with, they're going to have to repay countries around the world. I don't see that happening. I see them, giving the bird to people and to the countries. I don't think they care. They care about their government and, to a much, much lesser extent, their people. So, I hate to say this, but boys and girls, we better hang on for the ride. And I may be stuck in Thailand for the next 5 years. It wouldn't surprise me. And that does worry me, believe me. Somebody in my family has a problem, and I want to go back home. I can't go back home. Or if I want to try to get back in, it's a huge hassle. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't want to go back and live in America. I don't want to live in America. For what? I certainly don't want to. So, it's okay. I look at it this way. We're okay. My family's okay. We have a roof over our head. We have food. We're all fairly healthy. And for at least temporarily, short term, that's acceptable. That's not living a progressive life. That's not really living. Now, I will say that, when I went to, especially when I went to Bangkok, Nakhon Phanom was very nice. But when I went to Bangkok, and I went out, and I'm out in the middle of the forest, and after I was up on the mountain, I went to like 5 other places that same day. It was beautiful. Fantastic. I'm away from all the BS. There's a few people around, but you know what? I walked away from most of them. Almost all of them, I walked away from them. And there are people, they want to stand there on the very edge of a mountain, they slip, that's it, it's over. They want to do that. Okay, go ahead, do it, but not me. I don't want to. I can take a picture where I'm 3 feet away, I'm not anywhere near, and the wind isn't going to blow me over, and I'm having a great time. As soon as I get back to all this bullshit, I look at the news and I'm like, we're stuck, man. We're in one of those whirlpools that just doesn't stop. It's just battering us around the rocks. That's pretty much what it's doing. It's banging us all along the rocks. You're going back when I go? You know what? Now I'm not as scared. The only thing that I really was scared about, there's 2 things I was scared about. That wood is over 60 years old. They don't replace that wood all the time. You may have a guy going over there checking things once in a while, or, maybe he goes every day. I don't know. But that wood, when you're walking, you get the feeling that if the wood went, that's it, you're dust. It's over. The other thing is there are rocks overhanging into where you walk. And it makes you have to lean to the right. When you lean to the right, you're almost leaning on the railing. if you're a big tall guy or if you're a big heavy guy, thick guy, and you press up against it, it's not like they're that strong. You could easily kick one of them over. You could easily lean on the wrong one. Boom, you're done. Say good night, Gracie. It's over. And it's not going to be a pretty sight. It's not going to be fun going down. There were some other places I went that were dangerous. The picture that I put up as the thumbnail for this live stream was from a place called Hinsamwan, which means three whale rock. It was three rocks. They look like a big whale. Each of them looks like a big whale. Well, some of the boards were moving, and I was like, I would hear them creak under my foot, and I'd look down, and that thing was shaking. Three whale rocks, yes. Then I went to the door of, what was it? Pratu Alina. Oh, the door to Pusing. I went to Pusing. I went to the Elephant's Head. What is it? Elephant Stone? Elephant Head. Fortunately, I have video of this stuff, and I'll put some videos up. Now I'm finally back home, and I have a little bit of time, so I can work on some of these videos, because I do want to work on them before it completely escapes my brain. And then the whole deal is that I'm going to try to go back up to the north somewhere around August 5th. Let me see here. August, yeah, that's right in the middle of the week. That's perfect. Somewhere around the 5th or the 6th. Maybe the 4th. I don't know. But somewhere in the first week of August is when I want to go back. And I haven't decided, do I want to go to Lopburi? Do I want to go up to Nong Khai and then just keep going? I still want to go around the edge of Thailand. It'd be nice to do it all in one trip, but it's a little difficult when you got a family and, people are sick and, and the money it's you can do it on the cheap, but it all adds up. You still got to pay. And I don't think Chumpon is in the very near future, Gennaro. Yeah. Let me see something here. I mean, let's see here. Where am I at here? Yeah. I know you seem to like that area down there, Gennaro. That Prajuap and Chumpon, which is right. You can see Chumpon in the green. But I was up, let me just see here. I was up here at the top here, Nong Khai. So if I go from Nong Khai and I go to the next place over, it would be to Loei. I don't really want to go to a place and stop. There's nice beaches all over, Gennaro, seriously. And I do plan on going through there. It's you have to. If you want to go around the edge of the country, you have to. Yeah, it's Chumpon or Chumpon, however you want to spell it. I don't know how they spell it in Thai. Let me see. Yeah, it's spelled without the R. But let me see in Thai language. If I could. Well, it's because it's because the last letter of the language or of the word is Ra Rua, which is an R, and so some people say Chumpon, but it basically, because of the language, what do you call it, the way the language works is in some places like an L is pronounced an N, an R is pronounced an N. It depends, but this is Definitely Chumpon, not Chumporn. Papua New Guinea would be nice, but how am I going to go out of the country and get back in? That's the whole thing. It's Thailand. This is the Thailand. This is the Thailand endeavor. You know. No, Longhorns, get your mind out of the gutter. If you have to crawl, then you have to crawl. Walking Hunchback sucks. What really sucked was carrying the gimbal and walking hunchback and almost kneeling. That's what sucked. But let me see here. Let me look at this map. You see the orange up here at the very top, kind of to the right, is Nong Khai. Then you go to Loei, and then you go to Pitsanalok, but you just have to, I just would have to cross over. I don't have to go down a ways. That would make it easy. I have not looked into these places, so I really don't know very much about them, but I do know this. Let me see here. I do know that in Chiang Rai, there are numerous places. Numerous places. Thank you, Chris. Let me see here. I forgot what is it? Chris Mock. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You are the first person. All you, what do you call it? All you lurkers out there, take note. Chris Mock. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. PayPal. What was the other one? Cash App and. Let me think here. Oh, Apple Pay. Apple Pay especially, those tend to be the best ways of making a payment or contribution, donation, whatever you want to call it, just because they don't take a percentage. They take, like, Apple Pay doesn't take anything. PayPal takes like 3 to 5%. Cash App doesn't take anything except maybe 25%, 25 cents to transfer the money. And if you do it like in, a day or two, then it doesn't cost you anything. So they're great because they don't charge any money. I kind of wonder how they make their money, but with Apple, I think we know. But there are a couple places that I've been looking at. One of them was recommended by Soy Dog Cowboy, and that is Doi Pa Tang, which is supposedly... Thank you, Bilal. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That was recommended by Soy Dog Cowboy, but that's in Lopburi. Lopburi is where the monkeys are. I don't think it's in the city center, though, anywhere near it, because it's quite a trek. 3,600 steps. But in Chiang Rai, there's the... Oh, wait a minute. The Doi Patang is in Chiang Rai. What's the name of the place that he was telling me about? Oh, Wat Khao Wong. Wat Khao Wong Pachan is in Lopburi. Apawi, my money is on Eve. Has anyone been to Albania? I had a buddy that went there. He stayed there. He was doing some kind of a, what do you call it? He was like trying to get his, not his master's, his PhD. Not his thesis, but he was doing it there in Albania. He stayed there for a while. He loved it there. He really liked it. But the other places are mainly in Chiang Rai that I really would like to go to. And I'd like to go before the tourists come back. Doi Patang, Pu Chi Fa, Pu Chi Dao. Those are all places supposedly very, very nice. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up in the community tab of my channel here, I'm going to put up a poll asking people, and maybe I'll put links up if I can, to each of the places so you can kind of see a little something, find out a little info about it. And I'll ask people, where would you like me to go? I'd still like to do the outer edge thing. I think that's still really cool to be able to, listen, Stephen, I talked to a woman who, she's a Thai woman, and she's lived in the north for her whole life, And she specifically told me that Changxian, it's not a province. Changxian is in Loei. She said that it's not real. It's not a real place. It's basically everything is for show for the foreigners, kind of like Mae Hong Son with the Hill tribe. Yes, they're real, but now everything is kind of like, okay, we want that tourist dollar, so let's milk it. That's what she told me, and I tend to believe her. That said, it's a very quiet place. I don't know that there's much to do. Now, that said, everything cannot be a mountain that I'm trying to climb and that I might risk my balls falling off of, or my ass. So, it does, it's something to think about, for sure. And I do want to go, and, I have an idea of what everything costs and how to do things, but little things pop up that are unexpected, and that's where the costs go up. Like in Bangkok, I didn't expect it to be so much to be taken around because it's such a spread out province that like to get around is relatively expensive. But there's Uttaradit, Nan. I know that Soy Dog Cowboy said he loved Nan, and there were some places to go there and stay. Payao is a nice place, so we'll see. Did Nicholas give Alex a hard time at the hospital? Are you kidding me? He went in, and Alex was sleeping, and he went in and wrapped him in the nose. And I was like, what are you doing? He's sleeping. And Alex jumped up. And Alex is not real violent. He doesn't want to hurt him. And especially because he was, kind of out of it. He just kind of looked up and was like, hey, And then Nicholas gave him a hug. And everything was fine. But, I was like, what the hell are you doing, So what I'm going to do is I'll figure some stuff out and make a list up. And maybe on Sunday I'll give a link to everything and show some photos of the different places and stuff. But I can't just sit here all the time. I just can't do it. And traveling it takes its toll on you, a little bit. It's not something. I mean, listen, the day that I took the bus from Bangkok to Nong Khai, I didn't want to leave. I was like, I don't feel like leaving. I just want to sleep in. This sucks. I want to crash out and go back to sleep. And I'm not somebody who sleeps all that much, but I wanted to sleep. And then I was like, you know what? Just get it. Just because you don't want to do something, like fuck your feelings, that kind of thing. I was like, I got to do it. Get up, go on, step by step. So I'd like to plan something out a little bit more precisely, and that can take some time. I mean, that can take some time, and I know obviously it'll take some money, but I can just stash some money for the trip and make sure I'm ahead or whatever, and we'll see what happens. I want to go to sleep and not wake up. Yeah, I don't want to I didn't want to wake back up. When I wake up, usually I wake up and I'm ready to go, or I'm ready to, all right, I gotta get some coffee. I get some coffee right now. And I take my time. That's why I wake up at 4 o'clock. So if I have to leave somewhere at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm awake. But if I got to wake up at 6:30 and leave at 7, I'm irritable. I'm pissy. I don't like that. So there's a lot of stuff to see, though. And I don't know why I'm leaning towards the north, but maybe what I'll end up doing is just go to every single province in Thailand. I'll go to one place or two places in every single place. You listen, I didn't cut it short because I wanted to. Honestly, I cut it short because I ran out of money. I just didn't have more money to spend where I can go, okay, well, I'm going to go to this place and then that place and that, you know. Um, that's how it works sometimes. But that's fine. And I was happy that I came home when I did because I wanted to be there for Alex. Um, that's the first time he's really, really been sick. And so I was very happy to come home and. Remember the bus I got from Bunkan to Udon Thani was like a mall run. Every village and picking up. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. And listen, I took the minivan. If you guys remember in the stream, I took the minivan. And fortunately, the van didn't fill up. But man, I mean, it was like, oh, we got to pick this person up. And we got to pick that person. I'm like, are they going to sit next to me? I'm like, do I have to like move over and kind of sit there like this, or what's the deal? And I was really lucky that, I didn't have to deal with that. But all in all, that was a great trip. I mean, that was a really fun trip for me. Aside from, a couple of periods where I was in fear way up high. But I mean, like, you wouldn't believe some of these people that were, the one rock, the three whale rock, whatever, three rock whales, three whales rock. And then there was another one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but you wouldn't remember. You wouldn't believe rather. How nuts some of these people are. I mean, one guy jumped over. He jumped up on a rock, and then there was these two. It was the door to the Pusing. There was these two rocks like this. Let me make sure I can see my hands here. There was these two rocks like this. There's a rock. They're big rocks, and you could leap across if you were able to just stick your hands on the wall, but that wasn't possible. Now there was a rock here, and there were some rocks, and this girl that was in our group said, "Oh, go up there, and I'll take your picture." I said, "Okay." So I got up on like two rocks, and it was in between these two. There was just this crevice. I got in, I looked up, she took my photo, everything's great, I climbed down. This guy climbs up on a rock, climbs onto another rock, leaps over to this side of the thing here, and I was like, well, can you go across? Is there any way to go? No, right below him, and it was steep, it was like, the thing was like this. If you slid down, there's nothing down there. You're 1,500 feet up in the air. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing on the side of the wall 1,500 feet up so he can take a selfie? I just was like, I live my life by calculated risk. And I was like, fuck that. Screw that. Sorry, Mom. I gotta watch my language. I think I should watch my language a little more. I come off like a ruffian. They were at my ex's place, JS. I know, because she said the chickens in Buffalo were sick. Listen, I was coming from the train station or going to the train station one time. All kinds of goats out there. And then when I was coming from the train station initially, when I first got to... I went and got my ticket, and then I was coming back. There was all kinds of buffalo wandering across the street, and we had to wait for all the buffalo to cross. So they are there. But, I don't have any desire to go to Udon Thani. I really only want to go to where there's kind of cool, exciting stuff to do, and that may be passing through. Like I may just pass right through Pizza Loc and not check anything out. It would be. It would be. At least it would seem like it. I'd love to do that. I've bungee jumped before, but, I'm not thrilled about it. Would I go back? Yeah, let us watch your language. Be yourself. There are some very cool places to go. There's another place. Let me see here if I can find it. Khao No. It says it's an easy yet terrifying climb. It looks pretty terrifying. Oof. Oof. It says difficulty level 6 out of 10. Where's that? That's in Nakhon Sawan. What is this other place? Doi Chang Cliffs. I don't know. That's in Pre. That's an 8 out of 10. Oof. That one looks pretty gnarly. You're already shitting yourself? Well, don't shit yourself. I saw something on Howard Stern the other day where the guy's talking about how he had to take a shit, and he was golfing, and he pulled his drawers down. He accidentally shit all over the front of his pants. He thought he was in the clear. He put his pants back up, and he saw that he had shit all over the front of his pants. And I thought, oh, well, I feel a little better now. Where do those people get stuck for weeks? Have you been there? You're talking about the cave? I'm not going into that cave. I don't like caves because I don't want to drown. You know, there are certain things I'll do and certain things I won't do. Caves, you know, I've been in a few caves, but I don't particularly like them because, you know, if water comes in, you're stuck. I don't want to drown. And because you can get lost very easily. There's another place called the Hang Nak Mountain Nature Trail near Ao Nang, which I've been to before, but I haven't been to this place. It's pretty gnarly. Let's see here. No spelunking. That's all right. I'm not going to do that. I used to scuba dive. And once I had a collapsed lung, that was the end of that. And in order to go scuba diving again, I need to go and get a test done and make sure that I can do it. And I'm just like, You know, it's a couple grand for the test, U.S. I'm not exactly thrilled. Q Mapan in Chiang Mai. Looks pretty cool, but there are a lot of tourists. I don't want there to be a bunch of Thai tourists there either. That mountain was perfect because there was a tourist, not a tourist, but a Thai tourist, here and there. I only saw a few people the whole time. And then when I got to the bottom, because I was there very early, there was a group of Thais. There's probably about 25, 30 Thais. Never got into scuba diving, but muff diving. Well, muff diving is much more fun. What's the other place? Wachalam Prakiat Prachom Kalau Rachunason in Lampang, 2.5 hours from Chiang Mai. That looks pretty gnarly. But let's see, what is the difficulty level? Do they have a walkway? Do they have anything where I can make sure I don't fall and break my ass? It says difficulty level 4 out of 10. I'm willing to do up to about a 7. When you get to 8, that's where I start going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this physically. I still would like to, listen, Longhorns, if you're still there and listening, there will be a day, I don't care how old I am, there will be a day where I want to go towards Kakabaratsi, and I want to get on that little bamboo bridge that's about 1,000 feet up, and it's swinging back and forth, and you got to cross over this river. There will be a time when I go and do that. Definitely. What is this? Chang Kao Papum. I don't know about this. I can't even say it. I believe out, not just Krabi, but out in that area, there's a lot of rocks where you can climb. There's actually a lot of caves and that sort of thing where people go kayaking. And that's not a bad idea, actually. I don't know about rock climbing because, I'm not exactly the most physically talented right now. and I probably never will be in my life. What is this here? Khao Dang, maybe. For those in reasonable shape, this hike should take around 45 minutes. That's okay. That's not a big deal. If you can get there in 45 minutes, it's a difficulty level of 5 out of 10. Up the long and winding road, Doi Patang. It says it's not very popular, which makes it great. Difficulty level 3 out of 10. That's not even worth doing. Phu Chi Pha, which is in Chiang Rai, a mystical mountain with an easy hike to the top. Looks pretty cool. 3 out of 10. Wat Khao Chom Thong. That's another one. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to have to find some. I really would like to go to do something different. At least on par with what I did on the mountain or close to it, you know? And the little 2 out of 10 difficulty levels, I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to cut it. Well, it's not really fun for people watching. I do like this Kowloon Muak. But there's monkeys, you little bastards. Oh, this is, once you reach the ropes, use them to help pull yourself up the rock face. Don't look down. I believe it's, what is it, Doi Intanon in Chiang Mai. On top, a seemingly endless view of sapphire blue seas greets you. So you have to pull yourself up the side of Doi Sutep, sorry. That's the Chiang Mai. I always get them mixed up. What is Doi Intanon? Why am I thinking of Doi Intanon? A multi-day trek to the heavens, Mount Makoju. I never heard of that. Mae Wang National Park. It takes 3 to 5 nights to get there. Yeah, let me see. I've been to wherever the highest point is before. Doi Intanon. It's Doi Intanon. So I was correct, and Stephen, you were incorrect. As they say, Pid Cup. They used to have that show, You Are the Weakest Link. And in Thailand, they'd go, Pid Cup, which means wrong. You're wrong. Of course, they had to say cup. They had to be like, you're wrong, sir. Yeah, it is Doi Intanon, like I said. Sorry. Sounds like dating. Oh, God. Lord knows I don't need any dating. You're done sleeping in the jungle unless there's a hotel. Okay, let me read this. I got to put my glasses on. For the hardcore hikers out there comes this multi-day trek to one of Thailand's highest peaks. Situated in Mae Wang National Park to the northwest of Bangkok, scaling Mount Makoju can be completed in 3 or 5 nights. The difference in time depends on where you start. Either you walk into the forest for the first day for approximately 10 hours. That sounds cool. Or you ride in the back of a tractor to the first camp. From there, it is only uphill. Leaving the first camp, you will walk for several hours, stopping at the second camp overnight and taking an optional hike to the nearby waterfall. You know, the only thing that bothers me about waterfalls is slipping with my hip. It's not that I feel like I'll slip and fall and go to the bottom and crack my head open and die. It's that I fear I will just have a little minor slip and fall on my hip and crack my hip. And there it's like, you know, that'll be like $20,000 to get it fixed now. The next day is a full day of uphill hiking. It's 8 kilometers as the crow flies, but much further than that after you account for all the twists and turns. The third camp is quite close to the summit of Mount Makoju so that you can finish the climb in time for sunset, then wake the next morning and enjoy the sunrise on top of the mountain as well. It does look pretty cool. From there, it's all downhill, physically speaking. After setting your eyes on the beautiful sunrise, you'll hike all the way back down to the first camp where you'll spend your final night. Then either hike out to the forest or take the truck to the starting point. Because this is a complicated and strenuous hike, a park guide is required. This looks like the kind of place where there are snakes and you got difficulty level. This is about my speed, 9 out of 10. All right, let me see something here. Wow. There's also a place in Sukhothai, which is a very nice city. But I don't know about this. Let me see here. What am I looking at? Sukhothai. Ooh. That's a 2-day excursion. Kowloon Mountain. That looks pretty good. The hike itself can be fairly challenging. In total, it takes 4 hours to cover the 4 kilometers, and no one is allowed to start hiking after 1:30. You can stay overnight. Of course, we recommend the overnight stay. Tents can be rented for 250 baht, or you can bring your own and camp for 30 baht. It is a beautiful view. That's not a bad place. Oh, wow. Ramkhamhaeng National Park offers easy access from Sukhothai, a moderate to difficult level trail, and great camping. That's a 6 out of 10. Then there's Doi Ang Khang, which is very cool. Looks pretty good. That's a 1 out of 10. Very easy. I'm looking for, that's the map for this place I'm looking is by Kampong Phet Province. So let me see something here. Let's take a look. Yo, I didn't realize you were streaming. Yeah, and I've actually talked about the place you recommended with the 3,600 steps. Only thing, it's in Lopburi, and it may not fit into the outer edge thingamajig. What did I say? I said, what was the name of the province again? Can I find it here? Kampong Phet. So it's actually over by Tak. Let's look at 10 out of 10 and work back. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm looking for that. I've only seen one 9 out of 10. What was the difficulty level on the last hike you did? I don't know. I bet you it's probably not more than about a 6 or a 7. Because it wasn't physically challenging for me. I mean, my hip didn't hurt. I don't know why. Maybe it was the angle of the steps or something. My hip really never hurt. Neither one of my hips hurt. I wasn't physically tired. It wasn't like I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can go another step. It was more just the fact that I didn't know what was up ahead. The rocks were overhanging where I was walking, and that the wood didn't seem all that stable. Other than that, though, it wasn't really all that difficult. But here, if you look over to the left, it should come up in a second. I don't want to go. What is this? I don't want to keep this up, Longhorns. You are not invited. Okay, let's look at 10 out of 10 work backs. I don't want to go. Me neither. I'll hike up to the second, third floor of 9. Yeah, what a hike that one is. All right, if you look at on the far left in the orange, you'll see Tak, and next to that is Kampong Phet. So, I could do this little thing at some point. I could just go to every single province. Now I've been to, I've been to a lot of provinces already, but what I'm saying is for video and for streaming, I could say, let's take every single province, let's go to every single province in Thailand. The outer edge, the inside, whatever. Oh, this is Nong Bu Lampu. Oh, I've been there before, Nong Bu Lampu. But if I was to go from Nong Khai, I'd go into Loei, then Pitsanlok, Uttaradit, Phra, and then Nan. That'd be the next kind of way to go around the outer edge. Or I could just say, screw it, I'm just going to go somewhere else, and I'll just start ticking off the provinces. You know, there's no set formula. But like I said, I think I'm going to put up a little poll in the community tab of the channel, and maybe on Facebook or something, and I'll let you guys figure it out. You guys can tell me. I do take it into consideration. I don't mind getting dirty, but I do mind falling off the edge. But before I go, I have one thing to do, and that is I need to go to the dentist again. I've been putting that off. I'm supposed to go last month, and I didn't go. And now I need to go again. I need to make sure Alex is okay. Make sure that he's completely fine when he gets home. He's got to start school up. Nicholas is already enthralled in his next term. This is his last year of high school. So, lots going on. And I'm at the point now where, where I was in there and the financial lady or whatever came in and she said, I need to speak with your son. And I said, what do you need to speak to him for? You speak to me. You speak to me. She said, oh, I need him to sign the paper. I go, I can sign it. She goes, no. He's covered. He has the insurance. He has to sign it. I'm like, okay. So he signed the paperwork. And then I thought to myself, well, he's not like 12 years old anymore where I have to sign for everything and he can't sign for himself. I was like, he's a young adult now. So, anyway, interesting. Very interesting. Let me play one more song here and then we'll maybe say goodbye. If I can find a halfway decent song here that I won't get too much in trouble for. Too much trouble for. How long is this song? Let me see something. I don't want a big, long song. The longest mountain hike I've ever done is the Pinnacles Trail to Emery Peak Trail to Emery Peak in the Chisos Mountains in Big Bend National Park. Yes, Scoot. Scoot. Hey, Scoot Malin. What's the other one? Oh, you guys might like this song. I don't feel like playing that song. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I already played Whole Lotta Love. I play this a little background music. Let's see here. Ooh, that's a long song. It's a little bit too long. How about, man. Oh, well, we could play this one. We played this the other day. Can't go wrong with this song. It's not very long. This makes me want to travel, man. It makes me want to get on the road with a backpack on. I should have been a DJ. Should have been on should have been a VJ on MTV. Let's just travel and not worry about the news. Yeah, baby. Wolfman Jack here. God, I haven't heard that name in years. cool, man. Yeah, that was all right, eh? I like that song. Anyway, good stuff. So I'll figure some stuff out in the next day or two. I'm going to work on a video. Maybe I'll put a video up Sunday morning or Sunday night, Monday morning, Sunday morning. I don't know. I'll put a video up soon. I'll get one done. And maybe stream on Sunday. Maybe I'll go back just to, what do you call it, to Starbucks. Simon, and I'll have to check that out and see if I can play it. I gotta run through these all through the process and see if it's possible without them, giving me a copyright strike. This will be for sure. These are all copyright claims, which is okay. A claim is okay. It just means they're going to get part of the money. But I demonetized this. I didn't monetize this this stream, so which I don't mind doing every once in a while. Doesn't matter. It's only it's really very little. I wish it wasn't, but that's not how it works. Let me see here. Yeah, so I'll figure all this stuff out. I'll give a few choices. Maybe I'll limit it to like 5 choices. Which choices I really want to, I really would like to do. And I'll figure it all out. I know that there's tickets on Noke Air, which beats the hell out of Air Asia, to go to Chiang Rai right now for 1,000 baht around the time I want to leave. So that's a very good thing. I love those cheap airline tickets, but then the train back was only 500 baht, which is that's peanuts. Starbucks. Oh, Starbucks, you go Starbucks? When you go Starbucks, mister? I want to see you again. Listen, I went to Cafe Amazon in Nong Khai. It was like one of the last things I did. I knew I wasn't going to stream. I knew I wasn't going anywhere that night. I had already got some food. I was just going to bring it back to the room. And I saw that there was a Cafe Amazon. I saw that Cafe Amazon the day before, but it was all closed up. And then I walked by it. It was like 5 o'clock. And I went, it's open. It's open till 6. So I went into Cafe Amazon. Not going to see Tamarat? No. Haven't been itching to go there. I've been there. I've been through there several times, and I went with my wife. The last time that we went to Suratani, I went with my wife there. And the last time I had a fight in Muay Thai, which was a long time ago, we had to stop at Nakhon Si Thammarat because the guy I was with was going to see his father, and then we were going to Koh Phangan. So I've been there a couple of times, and yeah, I mean, there's some nice stuff to do there, but again, is it going to fit the theme? Going to every province, going around the outer edge of Thailand. I'd really like to do it all in one shot. There's 39, so that's 78. You're talking about, that's about 2.5 months of travel. That's a long time. My old lady might leave me in 2.5 months if I don't see her. She'd be like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you seeing? I know you're not alone. You don't want to be alone that long. And I'd be like, yeah, I am. But you can come and visit me. 2.5 months, she'd be like, can I go for part of it? But anyway, the outer edge is a pretty good idea. I like that. I've already traveled across Thailand. I still have to travel the length of Thailand from the most northern part to the most southern part. I'd like to do that. I'd like to do it by train. I don't know how possible it is. Stopping off in a few different places. That's a pretty good idea too. And that way I could go, I'm pretty sure I could stop off in Lopburi, which that looks like a pretty cool place. Mr. Story Dog Cowboy. This place, Wat Khao Wong Pachan. This is another place. The temple, let's see here. It's a large gold Buddha seated in front of the mountain. 3,790 steps, a path of about 1.7 kilometers. It took an hour and a half to reach the summit. A good part of the trip is shaded, and the steps are not very high, much lower than those at the Tiger Cave Temple at Krabi, which I did go to. I have to find the photos of that place. That was pretty cool. What happened to the hike to Pattaya? Nothing happened. I don't really want to hike to Pattaya unless I go there first and see, or I got to do it on Google or something, Google Maps. I could check it out. I want to make sure there's a place for me to stay every night. I don't want to sleep on the side of the frickin' road. I don't want to get run over. And I just went to Pattaya twice. So, yeah, I could go. The other thing, too, is I've come to the conclusion that even the backpack that I had this last trip, which I still haven't put up the what's in the bag little video. I had my laptop. I had my electrical cord for the laptop. I had a couple battery power banks to charge my phone up. I had one camera. And I had very few clothes. And that bag was extremely heavy. Too damn heavy to be hiking anywhere. I need even less stuff. So, we're talking about like 2 shirts, 2 underwear, And what a shame. Been in Starbucks 3 times as much in Thailand than America. Starbucks can be dangerous too. Yeah, just like McDonald's is dangerous. You can have cockroaches in your cappuccino. Crazy Thai chicks attack people. I'm not worried about that. The only crazy Thai chicks that ever attacked me is because I stood up to them and got mouthy with them, told them to fuck off in their own language. All the other ones, I've never had a problem with them. Not least the crazy lady who stalks the place. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You see, I've completely forgotten already. Crazy chicks, they kill people too, though. That's the whole problem. So, anyway, I think I'm done here for now. We've had a nice little conversation. And like I said, I'll figure everything out. We'll leave you with a song. If you want a little Zeppelin, we can play a little Zeppelin. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. We could play a little Stairway to Heaven. Crazy chicks' lives matter. Yeah, that's true. They do matter. As long as they don't try to kill me, then they matter. We got a little Stairway to Heaven. A little Zeppelin. I think that's a pretty good song to end with. What else was I going to say here? For those of you who might like to support the channel, actually it's supposed to be, if you've yet to subscribe, please do so. Remember to hit the notification bell as well to make certain you get the YouTube notifications of when I'll be streaming or when a video goes up. Man, I got to rewrite that. For those of you who might like to support the channel, you can do so by heading over to americaninbangkok.com, or you can just check out the description below the video window. Your support and your viewing is much appreciated. If you like today's stream, please click like, please share it, and leave a comment. That's really all I have for now. Thank you very much for joining me. Maybe I'll be at Starbucks or somewhere else on Sunday. I don't know. But I think it's time to play a little Stairway to Heaven. Why not? Take a chance. Yeah. We'll just sit here. You guys can talk amongst yourself for a few minutes and marry one that comes back with you. Thoughts on that? The crazy one? Well, if you can tame them, I mean, you know, you let the beast out in the bedroom and then, you know, you tame them outside the bedroom, then that's a good thing, I guess. She's a beast in the bedroom and she's a socialite lady every other time. I want to enjoy this song. Goodbye, all.
All it glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. It makes me wonder.
I'm sure it would be a lot more than 4,000 steps.
There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying to leave. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the
Messy room. I haven't had a chance to put anything away from my trip. Shit.
makes me wonder. Really makes me wonder. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason, and a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Supap Barut. Let Supap Sutri.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on.
Let's crank it up.
And it makes me wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. Nicholas didn't do them last night, and I'm a little irritated. He didn't empty the garbage. He left a bunch of stuff in the sink. I don't know what to do with these kids.
Your head is humming and it won't go. In case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him.
I'm not going to do that to him. I'll throw it in Nicholas's room. Alex is mellow. Nicholas can be a little big for his britches. Oh, in Nicholas's room? I'll throw all the dishes in there. My wife would be pissed if I did that. She guards little Nicky. Check this mask out. Yeah, that's really going to help. Look at this. Yeah. See you guys later. Arrivederci.